Hey guys, I don't know how to start this video, um, but it is gonna be a serious video besides all the other content I've made in the past. So if you easily get depressed or you don't like to get depressed thoughts in your head, then please do click away. I don't want anyone to be depressed, um, because this story is rather gonna be as detailed as I can make it. Um, so if you need to click away, then by all means go ahead. If you want to stick around and listen, that's fine too. And I, I just, I just want to share my personal part of my life that I've gone through for this past month or so. So I think it's time I talk about it now rather than later. So if you couldn't tell by the video title, unfortunately, I had to say goodbye to my mom forever. A month ago, she unfortunately passed away due to cancer, and it was something that nobody in my family was expecting, to say the least. So, my mom was honestly an important person in my life. By far, the most important person in my life. She made me the person I am today. Everything I have is thanks to her. This computer, these two monitors, my camera, everything I have. It's all thanks to her. But I feel like the reason that I have all this stuff was because she always believed in me. And that in itself just made her honestly one of the most incredible people I have ever met. And one of the most grateful people in the world to have such an amazing mother like her. I want to start off by saying that my mom was one of the toughest women out there. She never let herself down. She would always pick herself back up. She wouldn't give up. She wouldn't quit. She wouldn't let anything take her down. And that really motivated me a lot, to be perfectly honest. But unfortunately, she did have to lose a battle. She did have to lose a battle to cancer, and it was terrible. As far as I'm concerned, she was fighting cancer for, I would say, 6 months, maybe a little less than a year. But she was battling cancer. She was having to do chemo, and it was terrible. Just because I've never seen my mom at a weak state. Besides that point, to that point, she was always, no matter what, even when we had to go through COVID, she would always pick herself back up. And she never quit. And just losing her was one of the toughest things I had to do because she's been there for me ever since I could remember as a little kid. She's been there for me when I've fallen down, when I've needed inspiration, when I just needed something to go through. She would always be there to listen, help in any way she could. And if I could tell it right now that she was the best mother I could have, then I would gladly tell her. I really wish I could just spend one more day with her. Tell her how she successfully became the mother I always wished for. That's something I'm never gonna have again. It's tough. It's tough to say the least. And Um, it's just one of those things where I'm just gonna have to go by now, live the rest of my life without her. Even though I felt like she had way more time left for herself to keep growing and still being there for me as my mother, and still teaching me lessons that I could have used for the future. But now I have to do that on my own, and it's gonna be tough. It really is, and there's never gonna be a day where I'm not gonna miss her. It's not. All I know is that it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be easy, and it's been tough. I remember when my dad woke me up on June 7th. It was around, I would say, 7 or 8 a.m. I remember my dad just waking me up and telling me that she passed away. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I by far did not want to believe it. And so I called my cousin because my mom was staying with her because the hospital was closer to her than it was to us. And I texted her like, "Is that true that my mom actually just passed away?" And the only answer I got was yes. And I was still in denial. I was still saying, no, nope, it's not true. And so I then remember I called my friend Leon and my friend Armando, which have been amazing people this past month. They've been incredible. They've been so kind. And I couldn't have asked for better best friends, better brothers to talk to. They've been helping me out a lot. And I remember just on the phone with them, and that's when I broke down crying. I was an emotional wreck. I broke down crying, and I just, it was just tough. And even to this day, it's still tough. It hurts. It really does. And I remember on the day I still had to do laundry, so, and then I was just on my phone, just looking at pictures of my mom, and then I was listening to music, and I was listening to Supermarket Flowers by Ed Sheeran. And let me just say that song just will always remind me of her for the person that she was. And I remember just looking at the pictures and just breaking down and crying and telling myself why did she have to go? And to say the least, it hasn't been the smoothest ride. It's been a month now. Today, as of recording this, it's July 7th. It's been a month since she's passed, and every day I always ask myself, like, why did she go? Why did she leave me? Why did she leave my brother? Why did she leave my dad? And I know that when someone passes away, at least now you know that they're resting in peace and that they're not going through the pain, because I remember these last 2 weeks when I had to go away. I remembered my mom was going through so much pain and hell that I couldn't stand it. Like, I didn't want her to go through that pain. And every day I asked myself, like, I wish it was me. I wish it was me going through that pain. Just because I know my brother is still young and still little. And I know that my little brother still needed her. And unfortunately, my brother has to now grow up in a world where my mom isn't a part of it. Unlike me, where I had her all 18 years of my life. And it's just, there's not a day that's going to go by where I don't miss her. Not a day's going to go by where I wish I still had her, so I can ask her for advice for the future. And every day when I come back from work, I always expect like a text message or a phone call. Because she would always ask like, hey, are you coming home? Are you on your way home from work now? And I would say, yeah, I'm driving now. I'll be back. I'll be home soon. And I would just see her and give her a hug. And because I know she would stay up and just wait for me. And now it's one of the toughest things in the world where I don't even get a text message from her. And every day I'm hoping, like, can I get a call from her at least? And I know for a fact it's not going to be easy now. And just, I just don't know, you know? I remember my mom always telling me that if I do ever have kids and that the first daughter I have, she'll claim it as hers. And then she would always like spoil her and everything. And now she will get the chance to meet her grandkids if I ever do have kids of my own. You know? It's one of those things where my mom's gonna not be able to see my brother grow up, never be able to see things that I could have accomplished as an adult, you know? And I remember in her last couple of days that she would always tell me, it's okay, whatever happens, I just don't want you to cry. And I remember even while she was alive, I would still cry in front of her. And I wish I didn't. Just because it's one of those things where I didn't want to see her in pain. And it was tough because I would always, like I've said, like, I would always see her as this strong woman that would always fight back no matter what. And unfortunately, cancer's a bitch, and cancer overtook her. And I remember when they told me that my mom passed away, I was just crying, I was tearing up, and it's just one of the worst news I could have been told. 'Cause I knew my mom never gave up. She said, I'm not gonna let this take control over me. I'm gonna keep fighting. And unfortunately, she did lose that battle. It was one of the worst things in my life. And I remember the other day, I was just looking at a picture of her, and I just started crying again, just bursting in tears because I knew that she wasn't with us anymore. And I know if there's a message I'm trying to say about my mom, is that she just wasn't my mom. She just wasn't my friend. She was more than that. She was my hero. And everything she was as a person, I want to live up to. The type of person she was, the way she would always put others before herself. She was one of the sweetest persons. One of the sweetest people I've ever met. Yeah, I'm not just saying that because she's my mother. I know that because she wouldn't do anything selfishly. She didn't want anyone going through her pain. She didn't want people to worry about her on problems that she was going and facing through. And I swear, I think the one time I cried the most, other than the time I saw her pictures of her on the day that she passed, was on her funeral. I remember just because when at a funeral home, there's always like the director, I guess you can call her, or the person that's in charge of the funeral home. We were all there just to go see her, because, you know, to do, I don't know what it's called, but it's because my family's very religious. They're all based on the Catholic religion. So if someone in the comments is also Catholic and you know what I'm talking about, please point that out. But I remember that the director there told us, After tonight, we're gonna close the casket, and we're not gonna. You guys aren't gonna, or anybody's gonna see her tomorrow, because the casket's gonna be closed completely. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to see her. I don't know how I was gonna handle it. And so and we walked in. My brother, my dad, and I walked in, and what I first saw was her face. Just, you know, just standing there. Just laying there, rest peacefully. And my first thought was, Mom, can you please wake up? Like, that was the first thought I had. Can you please just tell me if this was a prank or something? Like, that's what my mind was going through, because I didn't want to accept the fact that she was gone. Yeah, I was thinking, Mom, please tell me you're just pranking us. Just tell us you're gonna wake up right now and scare us or something, and just so I can hold you and hug you. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And I remember I gracefully put my hand with her hand on that day, and it was extremely cold. It was one of the worst feelings in my life. Because usually when you hold someone's hand, it's really warm, it's, comforting. But that day it was just cold. It was especially really cold. And that's something I'm never going to forget, Yeah. And then the next day we had to say goodbye for good. We buried her, and then that was that. And people that knew her came from everywhere. People from I have a cousin that lives in Dallas. I have a cousin from Houston. They all both came, and because not only was she obviously their aunt, but she was also like a mother to them as well. And I consider them like siblings, like older siblings to me. Now I remember friends from like really far away even came down to visit her when they heard the news that she passed away. And it was one of the most saddest things in my life. And now I gotta see this world where she's no longer with me. Because we would always do everything together, and wherever she went, I would always be there. And now I just got to do things on my own. Because I remember she would always tell me that when I go off to college, that she was gonna be sad that I left her, and that I was gonna be gone for who knows how long, and how the distance was gonna be. But we both really never prepared for what would happen when she was gone, and what would happen now that I've been left alone. Now I remember this one time my mom told me this story where she was crying when I was just like maybe 1 or 2 years old. She was crying, and then apparently she told me that I was, as a baby, I would just hold her hand and tell her everything's gonna be okay. And that honestly, when she told me that story, it really brought me to tears now thinking about it. Just after what happened, I was thinking about that, and it's one of the saddest things in the world to me. And yeah. Sometimes I wish she was still here, right? Even to this day, I'm gonna always wish she was still here so I could just talk to her, talk, and just laugh, because I was always able to make her laugh anytime. But it's gonna be one of the worst feelings in my life. Know that she's not here. And then later on, I think like a week later or two, I found the journal that she had when I was like still barely a baby, not even a year old, I think. And one of the things she wrote down was, "Thank you, son, for choosing me to be your mother." And that when I read that day, it just brought me to tears. Cause she wrote that she was lucky to have a son like me, but it works vice versa as well. Cause I'm lucky to have had a mother like her. And I know that if she saw me right now, she would have told me, "Stop crying. It's fine. I don't, she wouldn't have wanted me to see me cry. She wouldn't have to see me sad. She wouldn't want that." And I just, it's always going to be the thing where I wish she was still here. I wish I could talk to her, but I can't. And my dad showed me this picture saying, sometimes I wish there was a way for our phones to communicate with those who aren't living anymore so we can still talk to them. And I think if that was the case, I would call my mom right now if I could. Just talk to her 24/7. Never, and I would never hang up on it. But it's one of those things where I have to move because I know she would have wanted that. And I know that she would always be proud of me no matter what. Because I remember asking her, "Mom, if YouTube does work out, would you be proud of me?" And the short answer she gave me was yes. If you believe that's your passion, if you believe that that'll make you happy and make a living and keep you happy, then so go for it. And I'm not gonna just give up. I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna make her proud because she even told me, "Please don't quit your studies. I know it's gonna be tough if something happens, but please continue studying to get a job that will make a good living for yourself." And I'm not gonna let her down. I'm gonna try the best to my ability to continue moving forward, even if it is without her. And if YouTube somehow does work, then I know she's always gonna be proud of me for what I'm doing on YouTube. Whether it's just me talking to you guys or just me being an idiot on the internet. But I thought it was about time that I could to finally let that out. My mind has just been all over the place. And honestly, I've just been lucky to have the most amazing friends ever in my life. Because they've been helping me through a lot. They've made me be able to smile and laugh. I couldn't have asked for better friends. Or how I consider them better brothers. And I know they're always going to be there for me as I'm always going to be there for them. And it's just going to be tough without her. But I am planning to come back hopefully next week or after next week. I'm going to take another week off. But I'm just going to post this video as it is. I'm not going to try and edit it. I'm not going to do anything. Just straight up post it so you guys can watch it. If I do post it, because I just want you guys to know that I didn't want to also put a fake smile on the internet while everything was going on. And I feel like this video in itself would be a way to express who I actually am as a person and how much of an effect my mom left on me. Because no matter what, she would always see the positive. She would never see the negative. She would always mainly see the positive. And I'm grateful my mom had that ability. It's something that I'm gonna also have to learn, Like, no matter what negativity is going on, always try to look in the positive, and if it's way too tough, then by all means, you gotta look for help. Because I remember my mom would always tell me, if anything's ever wrong, come to me and talk to me, and I'll help you the best I can. And I wish she was here right now, just so I can tell her what's going on through my mind without her. But it's gonna be terrible to not go, live live my life. It's gonna be tough without her because she would always be every step of the way with me, and now I don't have her to continue my journey without her. It's gonna be tough. And I just don't know what I'm gonna do or what's gonna happen next in the future without her. Because I remember I would always tell her, Mom, please just make it through this. You still gotta be there for me, please, at least for 20 to 30 more years. Please stay with me, Mom. And unfortunately, I'm never gonna have another 20, 30 years with her. And my brother isn't neither. Neither is my brother. But I'm happy to have the people that I have today. I'm happy that they've been able to help me out the most they can to not keep me depressed, keep me smiling all the way, and have me always look at the bright side of things. So, with that being said, just recording this really did help clear my mind off more things. And yeah, I owe everything I have, everything of who I am as a person to her, because she would always push me to be the best I could be and never gave up. And if there was anything I could say, it was that I was lucky to have her as a mother. So I want to say thank you guys so much for being patient. I know I don't share my personal life, but I think I had to share this with you at least, just because of the impact my mom has always left on me. And if there's one thing I regret, was the arguments I had with her, was the times I ever got mad with her. It's just those things, small things I regret. And if I could take it all back, I would. I would instantly take those arguments back. I do want to plan on doing a charity stream sooner or later. I want to do a 24-hour charity live stream for at least some cancer association. So if you guys have any charities that go towards cancer, please write them down in the comments, and I'll look through them. If you can list as many as you can. Write them down in the comments, and then I'll look through them. I'll pick a couple. I'll probably set up a Tiltify for that, because cancer is a fight that's really tough to beat. It really is. So I do want to do a 24-hour charity live stream. I don't care. The goal will probably be really low. I don't really expect to reach that much money for charity, which I hope we do. When that time comes, I will start setting up like events for that charity stream, because I know that a lot of people struggle with that, and I don't know, I just want to do something that will at least have some impact on the world. And I don't care if I get tired during those 24 hours. I don't care if I'm at the point where I'm gonna fall asleep, or at the point where my dad's gonna probably get mad at me and tell me go to bed. I'm gonna do a 24-hour live stream. And you know, just leave some good in the world. Because I know my mom would have been proud if I did that. But thank you guys again for being patient with, and thank you for respecting, obviously, my privacy, as well as not asking like, hey, when were you coming back or anything. Because I remember there was a personal little shout out, I guess. Bonbon, I choose you. I remember they commented saying, take your time, and that really meant a lot to me, you know? It's those small little things that mean the world to you. But yeah. But yeah, I'll be back soon. This really helped. Like I said, this really helped just talking to a camera at least and expressing how I felt. It really did. But that being said, thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye, guys.